Hey everyone, welcome back to Salmanuel Art. I'm Salmanuel, and today we're diving into the exciting part of our white base project. We're going to be painting the catwalk using Substance Painter. Whether you're a seasoned 3D artist or just getting started, this quick and basic tutorial will walk you through the essential steps to bring your catwalk to life. So grab your brushes and let's get started on making this project truly stand out. Let's dive in. So here's our catwalk that we're going to be working on. This is just awesome. What I'm going to do to start this project, the usual, we're going to go up here to Mode, Bake Mesh Maps, or you can hit F8 on your keyboard. And I'm going to make sure I have 4K selected. And I do not need ID, so I can deselect that. We'll leave the rest on though. And we'll go ahead and click Bake Selected Textures. And we'll let the computer do its thing. Alright, that took a little bit, but not too crazy. We're ready to click Return to Painting Mode and get started on this. Oh boy. This is going to be a lot of fun. So we'll start with the main one first. I've got here this catwalk that goes on the wall, and this is the one that sticks out, and you've got your mobile suits that they can board or work on or access it from this one right here. We're going to go to our preset, and I'm just going to give it that stained steel. This is one of my favorite bases to work with right here. We're going to need a fill layer, color, and I'm going to want this to be not too shiny. This is going to be pretty metallic, so we're going to pump up the metallic value. And we're going to want this to be a little bit on the green side. A little bit bluer. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. Primary color, and then we need to get another primary color. Rail yellow. And we'll adjust our metallic color for that. It's not going to be too crazy though. We definitely want to dial that down so it's not too glossy and unreal. And the rest looks good. We'll just give it a nice yellow that we can work with. Let's go here. It's kind of misleading me in what's going on. Okay, I like that. Should it be a little bit on the more yellow side? There we go. That's a beautiful yellow. Change back to our material mode here. And the next thing we need to do, we're going to turn these guys off. Let's just go ahead and create another layer that we're going to use here. We're going to call this one Dirt. And the reason we're not diving into this really quick is because I'm working from two different models and they share two different UV spaces. So I want all this base stuff to be transmittable to the next thing so I have consistency. I don't have to try and refigure out all these layers on the next model, and then it can get to be pretty crazy pretty fast. So this is going to save us a lot of time. We don't want any metallic for this. We're going to turn on, what the heck, let's turn all of our roughness off. Maybe we'll leave a little bit. And we already named that Dirt. So for this, we're going to go ahead and create a white mask. I'm going to right click my layer again, and I'm going to add a generator. And we're going to add a dirt generator to it. It doesn't look like it added too much to it. So we're going to have to play around with the values on this to see. Just how much we can get going on here. That looks pretty good. Let's just double check because we didn't even assign it the right color that we need. Darken that up a bit. There we go. That looks pretty cool. Let's play around with the values just a little bit more. Dirt value. I don't want it to be too dirty, but I do want it to look pretty cool. There we go. And you can see the dirt's all chucked up in those vents. We got the bottom side. That actually looks pretty good. Yeah. Definitely liking this. So one other thing we're going to add real quick is another preset layer. We'll go with some aluminum. We're going to give this a really crazy look here. Nice, clean, and shiny metal. We're going to add another white mask to it. And we're going to add another generator. And our metal edge tool we're going to use to it. And you can see that I added some nice, beautiful wear on the edge lines. Let's just adjust some of these values a little bit more. We don't need it to be too wild. And one final last layer. I think this is all of them. I'm going to give this a light because there are some emissions that we have to set up. So I'm going to click here on my texture set settings real quick and look for this channels plus and enable an emissive. There we go. Make sure we turn that on, turn everything else off. We're going to need the color though for that, aren't we? Yeah. We will need the color for that. And it's going to be a white light, so we can leave our default color. I'm not going to turn the emissive on right now because if I do, it's going to just be a huge bright light. We'll leave it off for now. And I think that's pretty much everything. So this is all my layers right here that I'm going to be using for now. We'll just drag all these, Control C to copy them. And then I will go up to my Catwalk main wall. So you can see there's nothing in this right now. And I'll just Control V, paste everything in, and give it a moment to generate all the new information. There we go. Now I've got the exact same setup for both of my models. And we're ready to start editing some of this stuff. We'll just click right here and go back to my original that I was going to work with, the main guy. And we can turn a bunch of these off because we're going to be working kind of in the order that we set them up in. Oops, that is pretty crazy. All right. So we got our base color, which is the steel stained right here. We're going to turn our primary color on. And we'll play around with some of these values here. Usually pass-through is enough, but I don't really see anything cool happening yet, so we'll just dial this back. We're gonna have to give this a bit of a more metallic look because that is just not cutting it. Don't want to go too crazy though, because when you get into the Unreal Engine, it just really emphasizes the gloss sometimes, so I'm staying away from roughness, but I think that looks pretty good. So we've got a bit of metallic to it, nothing too crazy. And our catwalk looks pretty good. All right, let's go ahead and start masking this out. So now I'm going to go ahead and create a black mask and get rid of all that green. And I'll go over here to my favorite polygon fill tool. And hopefully this one will be the one that we need the most. We'll just start clicking here to add it back on. And then we got our rails. We'll do the same thing, add another black mask to turn everything off on that. And you guessed it, we're going to be painting these rails using the exact same method. Just click each one of these. Actually, let's do this the quick and easy way. Let's kind of line this up. Let's drag that over. We'll leave the bases unpainted. There we go, that looks pretty cool. We'll turn our dirt layer back on and see how that looks. This needs a little bit of a shine to it. So we'll just, I don't know, see, we get crazy right here, but then that's going to start reflecting everything like crazy. Let's go 0.65. No, that's too much. I'll have to go up to 0.75. There we go. Just a little bit, but nothing too crazy. So we've got our edges worn here. Let's turn this layer back on, see what we've got going on. So now we've got our scratches in the surface. Oh yeah, that breathes some much needed life into this. Except for now, we've got to disable some of this wear and tear on our metal pipe here. So we can do this real quick. Got to group it to itself here. Create a white mask. And this time I'll just lower this down to black right here. Select everything. That looks pretty good. And then for my light, we've got our lights right here on the tip. Let's go to our polyfill tool again. But we've got to add a mask first in order to get that to work. Give it a black mask. And make sure we're on the white fill. And we'll shift over to the other side and fill that in. There we go. We got our lights now. That looks pretty cool. Go ahead and turn those into a white. Beautiful. And there's no lights on this one, so we can remove that. Alright, so we got all of our basic stuff all roughed in. That looks nice. Now we can call this complete, or we can continue to add a little bit more detailing to it. And I think we're going to add some more details to it. Let's add some scratches and roughen it up a little bit and start to make these things pop a little bit more. I do want to add some decals along the ridge of this, so we'll get that done as well. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to create another fill layer. I'm going to add a couple of lines to this thing, so I'm going to name my layer lines. I'm going to alt-click my metal right here and disable everything. I'm going to go ahead and create a black mask to this layer. And I'm also going to add paint to it. And let's see here. Should be able to draw some lines now to this. Nope. So in order to do this, we got to make sure we add some information to our height map. So we'll scroll down, actually click the main shader, and -0.15. And just like that, but we've got to backtrack a bit. -0.15, now that that's gone. So now we can draw lines all over the place. That's going to be cool. Man, that looked really cool. Alright, let's add some lines into here. So I'm going to snap my view to the front top view. What kind of stuff do we want to add? We don't want to overdo it, but we're going to click right there, hold shift, and that'll allow us to draw a straight line. Control, and that'll allow us to snap. I want to add some other details right into here. There we go. It's kind of weird whatever's going on right there. And one thing we can do here is just add a straight line down like so. Add one more straight line. Zoom this crazy thing in. And again, you're not even going to see this, so we don't need to get too worried about that. Because the main wall unit goes right in there. Well, I think that looks pretty beautiful. Let's add a few more final touches on this. I'm going to create another fill layer. Small details. We'll use this as our anchor layer. And I'm going to create an anchor point. I'm also going to change this here to make sure we're working in height map. I want to make sure we're working in pass-through. It's going to allow our shader to go right through. And then after that, we'll make sure we have our layer selected. And I'm going to hold the Alt key and just click height. And boom, that's going to knock that all out. Just like so. Not going to go too crazy, but I think I'll add another preset. And we'll go with aluminum. We'll give it a nice shiny aluminum. Close that out. Create a white mask. Add a generator. Over here to generator. Now we're going to add some metal edge noise. That should select that all off just beautifully. Now I know we already had one of those earlier before. We may have to disable it. Which is, oh, here it is. Let's see here. I'm stacking two noises. Do I really need it? No. We're going to turn that one off for now. We'll turn it off. So that looks pretty good. We may need to turn it back on though. Let's see here. Let's continue going here. So I'm going to select my generator again. I'm going to scroll down till I find micro details. I'm going to click that tab here. I'm going to click micro height. And make sure that's turned on to true. That'll pop up some new options that I should have down here now, which is micro normal and micro height. I'm going to click the micro height and I'm going to attach it to that anchor point that I have, which is small details. Right there like so. We're not done yet here. We're going to scroll down to reference channel. Bake color. I'm going to turn that into height. And now I've got all those beautiful edge line details added to my line art that I've just done as well. So that's going to give it some extra pop to it as well, isn't it? Oh, this is cool. Let's go ahead and add some of those caution decals to this now. So the best way to do this is to snap into our side view here. And I've got some caution decals. I'm going to actually put those on the side line here. Let's snap that onto the base color. We'll have to rotate this. Let's see, 90 degrees. Whoa, wait a minute here. Usually I have to scale this up or down. Wow. I never have that kind of luck, guys. That is cool. Well, I'm not going to complain about that. We'll just duplicate this layer and move it right on down the line here. Add a mask to that, so now I can kind of get that out of there. And we will do the same thing, Control D once again. Zoom in a little bit so I can see. And for some reason, every time you duplicate a decal, the mask always resets. So we gotta go back over here once again. That looks really... What in the world? It's a good thing I was double checking these sides. So this right here, we gotta go back into our decal layer, which is right here. Would have helped if I had named it. And I'm gonna scroll down till I find my white, and I'm going to redraw that back in and hope it didn't add it on this side. Alright, beautiful. It did not. Wow, we've got quite a bit of grunge on that yellow. And that's it for today's tutorial on painting the catwalk for our project white base using Substance Painter. I hope you found this quick and basic guide helpful and that you're feeling inspired to add some amazing details to your own projects. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to Salmon Art for more tutorials and creative content. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and if you've got any advice or tips, feel free to leave a comment below. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss another update from our Project White Base series. Alright my friends, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Keep creating.